Hey, welcome back to Project 365. I'm Julie with SB Pace. It's October, so that means we're still talking about metrics and reporting. The question I'm answering today is, how can I calculate risk? Well, here's the real answer versus the fake one. The real answer is there's a lot of different ways to calculate it. I would just say find a way that you can use consistently inside of your organization. For example, a lot of times, if I was working on a project and I needed to calculate risk of something, I would find a risk assessment score. So if we had a risk, let's say the risk was that the cat was going to escape, right? That is a risk. Then I would look at a bunch of different factors. The first one would be, what's the likelihood that the cat will escape? And I would just use a simple scale of 1 to 5, right? 1, not likely at all. 5, very likely. So, and just kind of figure it out from there. So I would give it a score for that. Let's say that it's a 5. It's very likely the cat is going to escape. Then the next question that I would answer is, what is the impact to the project if the cat escapes? And it's a 1 for there's really no impact, or 5, it is a extremely high impact, right? So let's say that I'm gonna give it a 5 now. So now I've got a 5 for the likelihood of the cat escaping. I've got a 5 for the risk to the project, if the impact to the project if the cat escapes. And then maybe I have a third category of the ability to the likelihood we would recover if the cat escaped. And so then the lowest score is going to be very likely we would recover. And the highest score of a 5 would be unlikely to recover. And let's say that we give it a 5, unlikely to recover. And then I'm just simply going to do a calculation of 5 times 5 times 5, right? So 5 times 5 is 25 times 5 is 125. That would be the highest possible score that I could get. And that means we've got a very high risk score. And that's how, and if you use that consistently across your project for every risk that you have, then you have found a consistent mechanism to measure or calculate risk. It doesn't really matter what, as long as you're doing it consistently, the method doesn't matter. You just want to be able to look at all risks the same in terms of what the calculated score is for them. So hopefully that makes sense. You might want to watch this one a couple of times. I find this one is really easy to do in Excel. That's where I typically do it, and just run with it from there. So list your risk, list the categories that you want to measure it in, rank them from 1 to 5, and then do a calculation. And then you've got your risk profile for whatever it is that you're working on. I hope that's helpful. If you have questions, reach out, info@sbpace.com, and tune back in tomorrow. We've got more videos on metrics and reporting.